Do you lie awake at night buzzing with ideas yet worry you have no money and no clue where to begin? Today, I'm talking directly to you, the aspiring entrepreneur with big dreams on a tiny budget. One of my subscribers, Kayleub1186, asked me, I have several ideas but no money to start or any knowledge as to how to start. How do you take an idea to fruition without a dime to start? If you've been feeling the same way, rich in ideas but short on cash and experience, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how you can turn that idea into reality without money in the bank. I'll share some motivational fire, practical steps, real examples of entrepreneurs who started from zero, plus a bit of science and stats to back it all up. By the end, you'll see that no money is no problem, and you'll have a game plan to believe in. Let's do it. And if you make it to the end of the video, put a hashtag believe in the comments below, and we might feature you somewhere here in a future video. Believe. Shift your mindset from money worries to resourceful warrior. So first we need to attack the mindset. If you're thinking, I can't start because I have no money, you're already setting yourself up to lose. Let me tell you something powerful. It's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. Legendary life coach Tony Robbins and friend of the channel said, you don't lack resources, you lack resourcefulness. That hits hard, right? The biggest thing holding you back isn't a lack of cash, it's the belief that you need cash to get started. You do not. What you need is creativity, hustle, and the ability to solve problems. Think about it. Some of the most successful businesses in history started with next to nothing. They had founders who were scrappy and inventive. When you don't have money, you learn to think outside the box. In fact, research shows that having constraints, like little or no money, can boost creativity. A Harvard Business Review analysis of 145 studies found that individuals and teams benefit from a healthy dose of constraints. It forces them to innovate. And it's only when constraints are too extreme that they hurt innovation. So a lack of money isn't a death sentence. It can actually be the spark that makes your idea more innovative. Remember Apollo 13? Those NASA engineers had almost no resources in space, but they improvised a life-saving solution with plastic bags and duct tape. Necessity is the mother of invention, as the old saying goes. Your necessity, which is no money, can become your greatest motivation. Also, drop the excuses and embrace a no excuses mentality. If you keep telling yourself you can't win because the odds are against you, then it becomes true. But if you adopt the attitude that nothing will stop you, guess what? You become unstoppable. Instead of saying, I can't because I have no money, start asking, how can I, whatever you're trying to do, without money? That slight change in phrasing flips a switch in your brain from victim to problem solver. You go from blocking your creativity to unlocking it. Every time that worry about money pops up, counter it with, I am resourceful enough to figure this out. Because you are. You've got this far. You have the vision. Now we cultivate the determination. And here's one more mindset shift. Focus on your why, not the how. This is something I emphasize in my book, Momentum. When you're stuck thinking, how am I going to do this with no money? You can become paralyzed by the how. Instead, reconnect with why this idea matters to you. Why are you excited by it? Why will it help people? In Momentum, I talk about making mindset shifts to get momentum. And shift number one is focus on the why over the how. When you have a strong enough reason, you'll find the way. If your why is powerful, say you want to solve a problem that you faced or change your family's future or make a difference in your community, that passion will drive you to figure out the how step by step. So reconnect with your purpose. We'll dive more into that soon. And let that purpose fuel you. The how will unfold as you take action. Here's your bottom line. You have to believe that it's possible. This is non-negotiable. If you don't believe in your idea and in yourself, you've lost before you've begun. You can call it faith, you can call it self-confidence, whatever. You must cultivate it. As Henry Ford famously said, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. And I want you to think that you can. In fact, I want you to know that you can. My one word, the credo I live by, is believe. I need you to believe that you can start this thing without money, because once you believe it, your brain starts working on how to do it instead of if it can be done. So program that mindset for confidence and resourcefulness. Find your purpose, who, why, and how from Built to Serve. Now that we've got your mindset primed, let's talk about your purpose. A strong sense of purpose can carry you farther than a fat bank account ever could. I wrote a book called Built to Serve, all about how finding your purpose makes you an unstoppable force. In it, I break down a process I call who, why, how. 3 simple steps to identify your purpose and use it as your guiding star. This is especially important when you're starting with nothing, because your purpose is going to be your fuel when times get tough. and they will. Money might be tight, but purpose is free and infinitely powerful. Step 1 is your who. This is about figuring out who you are at your core, specifically what your single most important core value is. What do you stand for? What value lights you up and guides your decisions? It could be freedom, happiness, authenticity, belonging, or in my case, belief. In Built to Serve, I explain how every person has that one core value that drives them. Maybe your core value is innovation. You love being creative and doing things differently. Or maybe it's service. You feel happiest when you're helping others. Take some time to reflect on this. Think about times you felt most alive or proud of yourself. What value were you living then? That is your who. And knowing this is huge because your business idea should align with who you are. If your idea doesn't match your core value, you'll struggle to stay motivated, especially without financial rewards early on. But if it does match, you'll have a deep well of energy to draw from. As the book says, finding your most important core value is what I call your who, and it allows you to set a course for your life. It's life-changing to know this. So figure out your one word, more on that soon, or core value first. Step 2, your why. This is about your purpose, usually tied to a pain or problem you've experienced. Often your purpose comes from your most painful experience. Why? Because you survived that pain and now you feel called to help others going through the same thing. In Built to Serve, I ask, what was the most painful moment of your life? It takes courage, but inside that pain is your purpose. Maybe you struggled with poverty growing up. That could ignite a purpose to help others find financial freedom. Maybe you lost someone to illness. That could drive you to improve healthcare or emotional support. Or maybe you felt like an outsider, like I did at times. That could drive you to create products or communities that make people feel they belong. Your why is the reason beyond money that you're doing this. It's the impact that you want to have. It answers, why do I care? Why will this idea make the world better? Even just a little bit. So for example, if your idea is a tutoring app for kids, your why might be because you struggled in school without help and you want to ensure others don't go through that. That personal connection gives you fire. When you have no money, your why is what gets you out of bed and keeps you pushing forward when you're tempted to quit. Remember, entrepreneurs who achieve massive success are not usually driven by money alone. They are driven by a mission. A study of successful entrepreneurs found that none of them were purely money motivated. They want to change the way something is done, have an impact, leave a legacy. Money follows purpose. In fact, Ray Kroc, who built McDonald's, famously said, if you just work for money, you'll never make it. But if you love what you're doing, success will be yours. So focus on loving what you're doing, your why, not just chasing a payday. Step 3, your how. This is your passion in action, how you will serve others and solve their problem. It often comes from how you overcame your own pain. In other words, how did you get through your biggest challenge? That method or skill can be your gift to others. In Built to Serve, I explained that your how is what you will actually do to help people, and it can evolve over time. For example, if your who is belonging and your why is you felt like an outsider growing up, maybe your how was gaming communities. You found belonging by playing online games with people. Your business idea could then be building a platform for outsider kids to find friends through gaming. The how is basically your solution or approach. It's the product or service that comes from your personal story. And because it's rooted in something that's deeply personal, you'll be passionate about doing it every day. Your how is your passion and expertise coming together to serve others. So take some time to outline your who, your why, and your how. Write it down. It might look like this. Who? I value creativity above all else. Why? I struggled with low self-esteem and art saved me, so I want to help others express themselves. How? I'll create an online art class platform because painting helped me gain confidence. That's just an example, but see how that suddenly becomes a mission? Suddenly, I want to start a business turns into, I'm on a mission to do X for Y people. When you're on a mission, no money, it's a minor detail. You'll run through walls to make it happen. So to recap this part, find your purpose. Get clear on who you are, why this idea matters to you and should matter to others, and how you're going to bring value. This clarity will give you momentum. Purpose is the rocket fuel that money can't buy. And guess what? It costs you $0 to discover your purpose, but it could be worth millions in the results it brings. Focus on one idea and your one word. So our commenter mentioned that he had several ideas. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially creative ones, have dozens of ideas swirling around in your brain, right? That's great. But if you try to chase all of them at once, you'll end up going nowhere. When you have limited resources, focus is your best friend. You need to pick one idea to start with. Which idea are you most passionate about and aligns best with your purpose? The who, why that we just talked about. Which one can you realistically start right now with what you have? Evaluate your ideas and pick the ones that give you the strongest gut feeling or excitement. Trust your intuition here. It's better to execute one idea brilliantly than dabble in 5 ideas and never finish any. Once you pick that one idea, I want you to infuse it with meaning by injecting your who. As a reminder, your who is that one word that defines the essence of your business and mission. For me, that word is believe. So believe in yourself, believe in your idea, believe that it's possible. That's what I stand for. And it's the message behind everything that I do. My videos, my books, my life. What is that one word for you? It might be freedom, equality, inspire, empower, honesty, anything that resonates deeply with what you want your idea to bring to the world. So why do this? Because having a single guiding word focuses your vision. It becomes a filter for all your decisions. All great companies stand for one main thing. Their core, their culture, their brand revolves around a single value or feeling. For example, Disney stands for magic, making people feel magic and happiness. Nike stands for victory or just do it, the spirit of conquering challenges. Knowing your who will help you brand your idea and communicate it powerfully even if you don't have money for fancy marketing. It helps you create an emotional connection with customers. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it and what you stand for. If you can convey that who mission, you'll inspire others to join you, support you, maybe even fund you down the line. Also, having that one word gives you strength. It's like your mantra. If your word is freedom because you want to give people freedom through your product, then every time you hit a wall, remind yourself, this is about freedom. I can't quit. It's simple and incredibly effective. As Buddha said, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. In this case, your one word that brings you purpose and direction. So let's say you decide your best idea to start with is a home bakery business, just an example. And your core word is joy because you love bringing people joy with cookies. That's your core value, joy. Now your whole approach is about spreading joy. That becomes your story and brand. You're not just selling cookies, you're selling little bites of joy in someone's day. That is compelling, and it doesn't cost a cent to figure out, just some soul searching. Remember, one idea, one word. Focus like a laser. It simplifies everything when you have limited resources. You're not scattering your energy, you're concentrating it. A laser-focused, mediocre idea with passion will beat a scattered genius idea with no drive. Mary Kay Ash, the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics, said, "A mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm will go further than a great idea that inspires no one." Your enthusiasm is generated by your focus and passion, so make your idea something that truly inspires you and others. So take some time after this video to write down your one chosen idea and your one word. This becomes the heart of your plan. Everything else, strategies, marketing, money, will revolve around this clear core. It's like having a North Star when navigating these uncharted waters. And when opportunities or side quests and ideas pop up, which they always will, your one word helps you decide, does this fit my mission or not? If not, you can confidently say no and stick to your path. That keeps you efficient and effective, which is vital when you're bootstrapping. Start small and be resourceful. Use what you have. All right, we've got the right mindset, a clear purpose, and a focused idea on a guiding word. Now let's get into action practically. How do you start turning this idea into reality with no money? Here's the answer. You start small and you use what you do have. You might not have dollars, but you have time, energy, skills, relationships, access to the internet, etc. Leverage those things like currency. Think lean and mean. There's a concept in entrepreneurship called the minimum viable product, or MVP. It means the simplest version of your product or service that can deliver value to customers. Now, since you have no funding for a big launch, start with an MVP, something you can create with minimal resources to test your idea. For example, if your idea is an app, you don't need to code a full app on day one. Start by creating a basic prototype or even a demo on paper. If your idea is a bakery, start by selling cookies from your home kitchen to friends or at a local market, rather than opening a store, which costs a lot of money. Do it on a tiny scale first. This not only saves money, it actually makes you smarter. You'll learn what works and what doesn't before you invest heavily. It's the core of the lean startup approach. Iterate cheaply, learn, improve. Use free or low-cost tools that are abundantly available today. This is a golden age for starting a business with no money because so much can be done online for free. So here are some ideas for you. Social media. It's free marketing and free research. You can create an Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at no cost and start building an audience around your idea. Share content related to your product's niche. Engage with potential customers. This can drum up interest long before you even launch something to sell. Next, you've got your website, your online store. You can start with free website builders. Look at Wix, look at WordPress, something with a free theme or free listings on marketplaces. Think Etsy, eBay, etc. if it's a product that you're selling. You don't need a custom coded website immediately. There are also free trials for online store platforms. Use those and test the waters. Next, skills for free. Need a logo or design? There are free design tools like Canva that can let you create decent graphics yourself. Need coding? There are tons of open source resources and forums where you can get help or templates. For almost any task, there's a free tool or tutorial out there. It might take your time instead of money to learn and use, but that's okay. You have more time than money right now, so invest your time. Next, work from home or a garage. Don't rush to rent an office or storefront. Work out of your bedroom, garage, local library, anywhere that doesn't add cost. Many huge companies started in garages and basements. Apple literally began in Steve Jobs' parents' garage. HP, Hewlett-Packard, a $30 billion tech giant today, was famously started in a tiny 12 by 18-foot garage with $538 in working capital in 1938. They used a second-hand drill press and whatever they had on hand to build their first product. That little garage is now called the birthplace of Silicon Valley. Did having only $538 stop them? Nope. They tinkered and they built an audio oscillator so cheaply that Disney bought it for the movie Fantasia. So if a garage was good enough for HP and Apple, your kitchen table is good enough for you to start prototyping your idea. Also, be creative and frugal with whatever you might need. If you absolutely need something that costs money, ask, is there a way to borrow, trade, or partner for it instead of buying? So maybe you need a piece of equipment. Can you borrow it from someone for a while or trade your skill for someone else's? For example, you're good at writing and your friend is good at web design. Could you write content for their website while they help make a basic site for your idea? This is barter. It's the oldest form of commerce, and it still works when cash is low. When I say resourceful, I mean use every resource at your disposal except money, since you have none. One huge resource often overlooked is other people. We'll talk more about networking in a bit, but keep in mind that you are not alone. If you have internet access, you can reach out to mentors or communities for advice at no cost, just like you're getting in this video. For instance, join entrepreneur forums or groups, Facebook, Reddit, etc., and ask for feedback on your idea or suggestions for starting cheaply. You'd be surprised how many experienced entrepreneurs out there love to give advice to newbies. So here's a quick story for you. There's an old fable about a traveler who makes stone soup. He has no food, only a stone, but he goes to a village and asks for a pot of water to boil some of his soup. Curious villagers come and they say, it tastes better with a carrot. So one villager gives a carrot. Then some salt would help, and another person gives some salt. Eventually, he has a delicious soup for free by pooling small contributions from many different people. So starting with no money can work similarly. Use your stone, that's your idea, that's your effort, to rally resources from around you in small bits. People will contribute help, advice, maybe even some materials once they see you're determined and passionate. And remember our earlier point, constraints drive innovation. So when you can't outspend your competition, you're forced to outthink them. As one article put it, startups with limited funding often drive the most groundbreaking ideas. When you can't outspend your competition, you're forced to outthink them. That scrappiness can become your competitive advantage. Big companies with big budgets sometimes throw money at problems. You're going to throw brain power and hustle at them instead. I've seen so many scrappy entrepreneurs find clever solutions that the rich competitors never considered simply because they had no choice but to innovate. You have that advantage. You just have to use it. So to sum up this section, start with whatever you have right now, however small, and build from there. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfectionism will kill your momentum. As the old proverb goes, start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Start with the necessary. That is what you can do right now with $0. Then you'll be able to do more and more. In fact, consistency beats intense effort. Taking any small step forward is better than dreaming of a big leap you can't take yet. This is momentum over perfection. Taking one small step is better than waiting for the perfect moment. If you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write your biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description to go grab it. Let's start building real momentum in your life and business. I'll see you there. Keep learning and build your knowledge for free. In the comment, it was also mentioned having no knowledge or how to start. Good news, knowledge is available more freely today than ever in history, and you can get a top-tier education in entrepreneurship without spending a dime. I am not exaggerating. The best teachers are on YouTube. The internet is a treasure trove of information, courses, videos, and articles on almost every aspect of starting a business. So start by educating yourself continuously. Treat this like an ongoing self-directed school. Successful entrepreneurs are lifelong learners. Many of them are voracious readers. In fact, a Harvard study found that top-performing CEOs and billionaires read up to 4 books a month. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, they all devote time to reading. If they, with all their success, still prioritize learning, you definitely need to. So how can you learn with no money? Read books. You don't even have to buy them. Use your local library. Libraries often have not just physical books, but ebooks and audiobooks you can borrow online for free. Look for books on starting a business, on your industry, on marketing, on mindset. Some of my favorites are Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and Built to Serve. Yes, plug in my own book because I generally wrote it to help people find purpose and serve. If you read even 1 book a month, you'll be ahead of most people. Next, online courses and tutorials. Websites like Coursera, edX, and Udemy often have free courses or free trials. You can take courses on entrepreneurship, accounting, marketing, whatever skills you feel you lack. There are also tons of free YouTube tutorials on, say, how to start a business, how to start a website, how to do graphic design, how to do basic marketing. If you need to learn it, it's probably on YouTube, and the best teachers are on YouTube. Make a list of the things that you feel you need to learn, your business plan, your social media marketing, and commit to watching or reading something every day on that topic. Next, learn from others' experiences. This is huge. Read autobiographies or biographies of entrepreneurs who started with nothing. They often share how they did it. For example, if you read about Starbucks, Howard Schultz grew up poor in a housing project. He had to convince investors with sheer passion to fund his vision of a coffee shop and got rejected 200 plus times. Or read about Sam Walton, who started Walmart with a small loan and a single store. Or the story of Airbnb's founders who literally sold cereal boxes to fund their startup in the early days. These stories will teach you creative tactics and also keep you motivated because you realize others have walked the same path. Next, mentorship and advice. Identify people who have done something similar or have business experience and reach out. You might be surprised. Some will be willing to give you guidance for free just because they like helping ambitious people. Look for local entrepreneur meetups. Many are free. Or join online communities. SCORE, for example, in the United States, is an organization that provides free mentors for small business owners. If something like that exists around you, take advantage of it. If not, even reaching out to a business owner in your community and simply asking for a short meeting or a couple questions to get advice can yield great information. People love to talk about their journey. You just have to ask politely and respect their time. And of course, learn by doing. This is maybe the most important. Our commenter said that they don't know how to start. Well, you learn how to start by starting. No textbook can fully teach you. Experience is the best teacher. So start taking action, even if they're small and you're not sure if they're 100% right. You will make mistakes. That is inevitable and actually good. Each mistake will teach you something and you won't make it again. Think of your first year or two as your tuition in the school of life. It's like an apprenticeship with your own business as the project. You might feel, but I don't know how to do marketing or how to register a business or how to X. Whatever the specific knowledge gap is, break it down and tackle it one by one. Don't be overwhelmed by everything all at once. For example, you don't know how to officially register your business? A quick Google search will likely find your government small business website with steps on how to do it. Don't know how to build a product? Search for others who built similar things on a budget. There are blogs, videos, forums where people share their DIY approaches. Take one question at a time. Do not get overwhelmed. Let me emphasize, not having formal business knowledge or degree is not a deal breaker at all. Many of the world's top entrepreneurs had no formal education in business. Some didn't even finish school. school. Richard Branson from the Virgin Group dropped out at 16 and built an empire. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg all dropped out of college to pursue their idea. Sarah Blakely, the Spanx founder, didn't have a business background. She was selling fax machines door to door before she started her company. She figured it out by doing, asking, and persistently learning. In fact, when Sarah started Spanx, she didn't even know how to write a patent. She went to a bookstore, bought a patenting book, and wrote her own patent application to save money. Talk about resourceful learning. She turned her lack of knowledge into an opportunity to learn and save thousands in legal fees. So here is the common thread. Grit and self-education trump formal knowledge. So don't be intimidated if you've never started a business. None of us know how until we actually do it. The first time is always a learning experience, so embrace that. And here's one more tip for you. Surround yourself, even virtually, with inspiring content and people. Watch motivational videos. You're already watching one right now. Listen to entrepreneurship podcasts or TED Talks. Fill your ears and your eyes with positive educational content instead of, say, binge watching Netflix. This doesn't mean no entertainment ever, but if you're serious about your idea, dedicate time each day to learning something that moves you forward. And what will happen is over time, you'll accumulate a ton of knowledge. Knowledge compounds, and you'll start to feel way more confident because you actually know stuff. And if you ever feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, remember, neither did anyone else at the start. The difference is the successful ones didn't let that stop them. They learned along the way. You are doing the same right here. Leverage your network and build relationships. Money isn't the only currency in business. Connections and relationships are a currency too. When you have no money, you'll lean more on social capital. That means people you know or can get to know who can help in various ways. Now, this is not about exploiting people. It's about forming genuine relationships where value flows both ways. Often people will help you just because they believe in you or your mission, which we talked about at the start. But you have to put yourself out there and ask. Start with your existing network, your friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances. Let them know about your idea and your goals. Now, you might be tempted to keep it a secret until it's perfect. Don't do that. Talking about your idea within reason can open doors. Someone in your circle might say, oh, you're working on a tutoring app? I know someone who works at a school who might give you feedback. Or, hey, my cousin is a web developer. Maybe she can give you some advice on that app. These unexpected connections are gold. And guess what? They're free. All it takes is sharing your passion. Now, yes, you have to be careful not to listen to the naysayers. Some people may doubt you, especially if you have no money. They'll say things like, are you sure you can do that? But ignore the negative and hone in on those who offer help or positivity. If your immediate network is small or not helpful, then expand it. The internet is your friend here again. Join communities of entrepreneurs or your industry niche. Twitter or X has active communities for startups. LinkedIn groups can be useful to find professionals in your field. There are subreddits where people ask questions and share advice. Participate actively, not just as someone looking for help, but also offering your unique perspective where you can. This allows you to build rapport, and relationships formed online can translate to real support. I've seen people find co-founders or mentors through a simple interaction on social media. Consider reaching out to someone that you admire in your space. If you have a favorite entrepreneur on YouTube or a blogger who writes about your business area, send them a thoughtful message or email. Don't start with, please mentor me, right? That can be too forward, but maybe ask a specific question or comment on something that they taught that you found really valuable. You'd be surprised. Some people will reply. Even one piece of advice from a seasoned person can save you months of effort in the wrong direction. Also, you can think about partnering up. If you lack certain knowledge or skills, let's say you're a great ideas person but not technical, maybe you can find a co-founder or partner who complements you. There are people out there who have skills, but maybe not the idea or drive. If you combine forces, you can share their workload and neither of you needs a lot of money. Many startups begin this way. One person handles one side, like coding, and the other handles another, like marketing. It's a way to fill gaps without hiring staff. Now, of course, choose your partners carefully. Ideally, somebody who shares your vision and work ethic that we talked about at the top, and communicate those expectations clearly. But a good partnership can multiply your progress. Mentors and peers aren't just about giving you knowledge. They can also open doors for you. Someone who believes in you might introduce you to an investor or a customer or a supplier who can cut you a deal. This happens a lot. For example, a mentor might not give you money, but they might say, talk to John at XYZ company. He might let you use his facility on weekends to work on your prototype or something like that. Boom. Now you've got resources without money via a connection. Now remember to be authentic and respectful in all of these relationship building efforts. You're not begging for favors. You're sharing your excitement and asking for guidance or help. Most people actually like helping ambitious underdogs. It's inspiring to them. Think about it. If a young hustler came to you with a big dream and no money, but a ton of passion, and asked for your advice, wouldn't you kind of feel honored and want to help? That's how many will feel as long as you show that you're serious, hardworking, and grateful for any help. So don't be shy to seek help. Just always show gratitude, and when you can, pay it back or forward. Maybe you can't pay them now, but you can keep them updated. Ask if there's anything you can do for them, even a small errand or promoting their work, or promise to help others in the future. And here's another tip. Build a community around your idea. This is more for later, but even early on, you can start forming a community of supporters or early adopters. So for example, if your idea is a sustainable fashion line, but you have no product yet, you could start a Facebook group or an Instagram page talking about sustainability tips, thrifting, fashion hacks, and so on. Attract people who care about that theme, engage with them, provide them value. Those people can become your first customers once you launch. They can also give you feedback, spread the word, and even help create content. They feel like part of the journey. It's like having a team of cheerleaders before you even have employees. Building relationships is a long-term investment, but its ROI is immense. Some doors money just can't open, but the right relationship can. There's a saying, your network is your net worth. So in your case, with an empty bank account, your network literally can become your net worth. Each person who helps you avoid a cost or connect to an opportunity has effectively saved or earned you money. So start networking in whatever way makes sense to you. And remember to also give. Even if you're a newbie, you can still offer help or support to others in small ways. You can share their content, you can cheer them on, you can volunteer somewhere relevant to your field to gain experience and connections. That goodwill comes back around. Inspiring examples, proof that you can start with nothing. Sometimes you might still think, is this really possible? Can I really build something without money? Let me inspire you with a few quick stories of entrepreneurs who started with peanuts or less and built empires. These are real people. If they could do it, why not you? So Sarah Blakely, Spanx, I mentioned her earlier. She started her billion-dollar underwear brand with $5,000 in savings working out of her apartment. She had zero experience in fashion or business. She was actually selling fax machines door to door to pay the bills. She couldn't afford a lawyer, so she wrote her own patent applications by reading library books. She went to hosiery mills and got turned down by manufacturer after manufacturer, but she kept pitching until one factory owner, encouraged by his daughter, gave her a chance. She hustled hard, driving around the country, selling her product out of her car, even sending a gift basket to Oprah. Oprah ended up featuring Spanx, and the rest is history. The first year was $4 million in sales. Remember, $5,000 and no knowledge. She learned and she persevered. Now she's a billionaire who literally started in her late 20s with a few grand and a ton of grit. Next, let's look at John Paul DeJoria from Paul Mitchell Systems. Today, he's a billionaire behind Paul Mitchell Hair Products and Patron Tequila. But rewind to 1980. That's when I was born. John Paul was homeless, living in his car. He and his friend Paul Mitchell decided to launch a new shampoo company. Their startup capital, a $700 loan. That's it. They mixed shampoo by hand and sold door to door to salons. John Paul even said in an interview, they were so broke that the first checks they received, they used to pay electricity so they could keep the lights on to fulfill orders. Fast forward, Paul Mitchell Systems became a massive brand in hair care, and John Paul later co-founded Patron Spirits too. A $700 start while homeless turned into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. If that's not proof that money isn't the main ingredient, I don't know what is. Next, let's look at Apple. It's Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. It's almost hard to imagine now, but Apple began in a garage with very little money. Steve Wozniak sold his calculator, and Steve Jobs sold his old VW van to scrape together $1,300 to fund their first batch of computers. They hand-built the Apple I computer and convinced a local store to buy 50 units, paid in advance, which is smart. They had no fancy lab, just that garage and their passion for electronics. Today, Apple is one of the richest companies on earth, but it started with two guys, secondhand parts, and borrowed space. Next, HP, Hewlett-Packard. I gave this example earlier. Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard literally started HP in a rented garage in 1938 with $538 in cash and a used drill press. They built an audio oscillator, which is an electronic test device, so affordably that Walt Disney Studios bought several for their movie Fantasia. That was their big break. That garage setup was so basic, but it launched what became Silicon Valley's ethos. Start scrappy, think big. Now HP is a global company. And fun fact, that exact garage is preserved as a historic site, as a plaque calling it the birthplace of Silicon Valley. Imagine your humble workplace someday being a museum because of what you achieved. Next, Walt Disney. Yes, the creator of Mickey Mouse. He started in the early 1920s with no money, even went bankrupt once. He was drawing cartoon illustrations in his garage and trying to sell them. At one point, he was so cash-strapped that he ate dog food to survive. It sounds gross, but it's reportedly a true story. He kept at it, making short animated cartoons with whatever resources he could beg or borrow. Eventually, Mickey Mouse was born from Disney's persistence, famously drawn on a train riding when he was feeling defeated. The rest is history. He built one of the largest entertainment empires ever, from nothing but creativity and sheer will. Next, Colonel Sanders from KFC. Sanders was 65 years old, broke, and living in his car when he started franchising his chicken recipe. He went door to door to restaurants to pitch his secret fried chicken recipe. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone agreed to partner with him. Talk about persistence without resources. He finally found success and KFC was born, now a global fast food chain. But he started with nothing except a recipe and a refusal to give up. Now I can go on and on and on. There are many such stories. But I want you to see the pattern. It's the idea plus passion plus persistence plus resourcefulness equals success, eventually. None of these folks succeeded overnight, and it wasn't easy, but lack of money did not stop them. They all had a belief in their idea, a willingness to work like heck, and clever ways to get around not having funds, like pre-selling to get money up front, partnering, starting super small, etc. So when you doubt yourself, remember these examples, save them, print them out, put them on your wall, do whatever as a reminder that it is possible. And notice each of them had a strong purpose or love for what they were doing. Sarah Blakely wanted comfy footless pantyhose for herself and other women. Jean-Paul DeJoria wanted to make quality salon products affordable. Steve Jobs wanted to bring computers to the masses. Walt Disney wanted to entertain and inspire people through animation. Colonel Sanders believed his chicken recipe was a winner that people would love. Purpose and passion were their fuel, not money. Money followed as a byproduct. This can be your story too. Why not? 10 years from now, I want someone to cite your story. That person started with $0, self-taught everything, and look at the impact they've made. It's entirely doable. Passion over profit. Serve first, money follows. So we've touched on this, but it's worth emphasizing exactly. Don't chase money. Chase passion and purpose. When you start with nothing, ironically, one of the worst things you can do is make it all about the money. It sounds counterintuitive. You have no money, so of course you need money. But if that's your driving motive, you'll make short-term decisions and likely burn out or compromise your values. Instead, focus on serving others and solving problems. When you deliver real value, money will come as a side effect. In my book, Built to Serve, I stress that we are all built to serve, meaning if you're not sure how to start, think about how you can serve one person with your idea. Just one. Change one person's life or make one customer ecstatically happy. Do it for free or cheap if you have to at first, just to prove the concept and make an impact. That first happy customer or user is gold. They'll give you testimonials, feedback, and word of mouth, and you'll experience the joy of your idea in action, which is incredibly motivating. Remember, the core value comes first and the money follows. Focus on your core mission, your one word, your why, and delivering on that. If you just work for money like Ray Kroc warned, it'll likely fail. But if you work for love of what you're doing, success tends to follow. It's almost a universal law. We see it over and over. Also, when you operate with a service mindset, people sense it and they support you more. Customers can tell if you genuinely care about them or just want their wallet. If they feel you truly want to help, they'll not only buy, they'll become fans and recommend you to others. This is how you build a loyal community without big ad spend. It's through genuine care. And here's one more angle. When you have no outside funding, you're actually in a great position to stay true to your vision. You don't have investors pushing you for quick returns or to change your product. You can grow organically, slowly, but with integrity. Use that freedom to make your product or service really awesome for the people that you serve. Obsess over quality, over delivering for clients, and getting feedback. Think long-term reputation. This will set you up for eventually charging premium pricing or scaling up because your foundation, which is your relationship with your customers and the value you provide, is rock solid. Here's a quick stat for you. According to a Gallup poll, 77% of new small businesses rely on personal savings for initial funds. And about 1/3 of small businesses start with less than $5,000. That means the majority of entrepreneurs start by bootstrapping just like you. So you're not alone. And many succeed with that approach. It forces you to make good decisions and focus on what matters, solving customer problems rather than burning cash on frills. Also note that only 0.05% of startups ever raise venture capital. Those are the big investor deals you hear about. They're extremely rare. So don't feel like you're doing something unusual. Most businesses start modestly, and many of those small, humble startups grow steadily into sustainable businesses. And some become the next big thing. It all starts with serving customers one at a time and being passionate about what you do. So double down on your passion, on your purpose, on your service, not on how can I get rich quick. Ironically, by not focusing on money first, you set yourself up later to make a lot more money. You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Solve others' problems, and your problems, like making a living, will solve themselves in time. Build momentum with consistent action. Now let's talk about momentum. You don't have money, fine, but you have something incredibly important: time and effort. How you use your time will determine if your idea takes off or not. You need to take consistent action. Even if they are baby steps, they add up. This is where my book Momentum comes in. The whole premise of that book is that success isn't one grand slam moment. It's about doing something every single day to move forward. Momentum is like a snowball. You start tiny, but as you keep rolling, it grows and grows. At the beginning, pushing that snowball might feel hard because it's small and not moving yet. That's the phase you're in now. You're trying to get things moving from a standstill. This is when many people give up because they push for a big week, don't see any big results, and they're like, this will never work. Don't fall into that trap. The results at first are invisible. It's like going to the gym. You won't see muscles after 1 week, but keep at it for months and everyone will notice. Same with your idea. So commit to showing up every day in some way for your business, no matter how small the task. Here is a practical approach. Set a daily or weekly action target. For example, every day I will do at least one thing to advance my business idea. One day it might be researching competitors. Another day it's drafting emails to a mentor. Another day it's designing a logo sketch. It could be even as simple as posting an update on social media about your journey to help build some of that accountability. But do something. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, talks about the power of tiny habits. If you improve just 1% each day, in a year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. Small steps compound over time. And crucially, don't wait for the perfect moment to act because it will never come. There is no perfect moment, especially not when you're broke. The perfect moment, it's right now. It's the only moment you have. If you catch yourself thinking, I'll start when I have X or when I know Y, stop right there and challenge that thought. That is your fear and procrastination talking. Like I said earlier, momentum over perfection. Taking one small step is better than waiting for the perfect moment. Also, momentum isn't just about work, it's about psychological buildup. When you see yourself making progress, no matter how minor, you start believing more in your ability. You feel proud, you feel motivated to do more. It builds your confidence. On the other side, if you stall and do nothing for a while, self-doubt creeps back in and it gets harder to restart. So keep the chain unbroken. Even a little progress each day keeps your mind in the game. Now, there will be days when you feel unmotivated. Maybe you got a rejection or something didn't pan out. On those days, especially do something, even if tiny, so you keep the habit alive. If you feel really stuck, revert to your why. Think about your one word. Reread that mission statement you wrote at the beginning. Visualize the people you want to help. Watch a motivational video. I have tons on my channel, by the way, if you need a boost. Do whatever it takes to reignite the spark and then take an action. Sometimes when I'm in a rut, I'll say, okay, Evan, just film for 10 minutes or just write one paragraph. Once I start, momentum takes over and I do much more. Starting is the hardest part, but as you build the habit, it becomes easier. Here's another tactic. Celebrate your micro wins. Even when you achieve a little goal, like your prototype worked, or you got your first subscriber, or you got your first email list sign up, or you made your first $10. Take a little moment to celebrate. Share it with your friends. Do a happy dance. Treat yourself to a small reward. It doesn't have to cost money. Maybe you take some time off, or you make a home-cooked special meal. Recognizing progress trains your brain to enjoy the process, which keeps you going. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. So enjoy the ride. These early days of hustling with nothing will become a fond memory and a great story in the future. So embrace it. Finally, be patient but persistent. Overnight success is a myth. Every overnight success story you see usually has years of unseen work behind it. So commit to the long haul. If you truly love what you're doing, you'll find joy in the process itself, not just the end result. That's key. Make sure you actually enjoy building this, because if you hate every step, you might be chasing the wrong thing. But if it fires you up, then even if it takes 5 years, you'll stick with it. And those 5 years will pass anyway. You might as well be building your dream rather than watching from the sidelines. As an entrepreneur named Angelo Sotira said, the best way to get something done is to begin. So begin and keep going. You can do this. Believe. We've covered a lot, so let's bring this home. The question from my subscriber was, how do you take an idea to fruition without a dime to start? The answer boiled down is this. 1. Believe in yourself and your idea. Adopt a mindset of resourcefulness and confidence. Next, you're going to clarify your purpose. Find your who, your why, your how. Let the passion and mission drive you, not just the money. Next, we're going to focus and find our one idea. Concentrate on one idea and stand for one core value. Next, start with what you have, no matter how small. Take action. Build your MVP. Leverage free tools. Next, we're going to learn constantly. Educate yourself through books, videos, and doing. Knowledge is free if you seek it. Next, use your network and build new relationships. People are your greatest resource. Ask for help, collaborate, and give back. Next, we're going to stay persistent and build momentum because consistent daily action and micro wins will snowball into big results. And next, we're going to serve others and stay true to your mission. Solve problems and deliver value, and money will follow as a result of the impact you create. You absolutely can turn your idea into reality with zero money. Will it be easy? No, it'll probably be tougher in some ways because you'll need to be extra creative and patient. But the flip side is you'll build an incredibly solid foundation. You'll truly earn your success and no one can ever take that away from you. You won't be beholden to investors or debt. You get to call the shots, and that freedom is priceless. So let's just imagine the moment when you make your first dollar from this idea. A dollar that you earned purely through your initiative and hard work. That will feel sweeter than any paycheck from a regular job, I promise you. Then imagine your idea starts gaining traction. Customers start giving you positive feedback. Your community continues to grow. Maybe media attention because people love a good started from nothing story. It will come if you stay the course. And one day you'll look back and be so grateful that you started now with whatever you had. Every big entrepreneur was once in your shoes, just a person with a dream and no money. The only difference is they took the leap and they kept going. And now it's your turn. So write that email, sketch that plan, launch that YouTube channel, do something right after this video that commits you to the path. Not tomorrow, today, and you'll thank yourself later. Remember what I stand for, believe. Believe in your ability to figure things out. Believe that your idea matters. Believe that every problem has a solution. When you have belief plus action, you become unstoppable. Now you might stumble, that's okay, but stumble forward. You might take detours, that's fine. You'll still gain experience. Just don't quit. The only guaranteed way to fail is to give up. But that's not you. You made it through this entire video, which tells me that you're serious and dedicated. So keep going. I'm rooting for you. Your future customers are out there rooting for you. They just don't know it yet. The world needs your ideas and your service, so go make it happen. You have everything you need to start right now, right inside you. Use that. You've got this. I know you do. So stay motivated, stay hungry, keep learning, and always believe. If you want to learn how to find a profitable business idea, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. You want to start a business, but you're struggling to come up with the right idea. Sound familiar? If so, you are not alone and you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to help you find a profitable business idea that not only makes money,